Live from Studio 31 inside City National Arena. This is a nighttime at noon. It's Christmas Eve in the hockey world. Looking forward to the opening night, which is going to be historic on multiple different levels, both with the debut of the Seattle Kraken, a new broadcast deal on the national rights side of things in American television. And Ashali Vise will be able to watch her first game as a member of the Vegas Golden Knights organization as we present opening night, and looking forward to it. And all kinds of things to talk about today. Daren Millard along with the aforementioned Ashali Vise. Let's get some news out of the way right off the bat, and then we'll get into your thoughts and the excitement on opening night. But we just watched practice, and a couple of players aren't out there, one being Matthias Janmark.
Yes, the team just tweeted out that he was not part of today's practice because of the NHL's COVID-19 protocol. Now, that's all the details we have. Don't want to speculate. Certainly something you don't want to see. We want to be past all of this. We've been talking about how excited we are for a regular season. But yes, in some ways, it does start to feel like Peyton Krebs is just destined to make this opening night roster, though, doesn't it?
So Janmark in COVID protocol, that brings into questions his availability on opening night. And we know Patrick Brown is also not going to be playing for the Vegas Golden Knights because he now belongs to the Philadelphia Flyers, claimed off waivers. As teams pare down the rosters, getting down to the 23-man limit and being cap compliant and all that kind of stuff. So there's different people. 3 players were actually claimed off waivers in the most recent passage. The Seattle Kraken picking up a player, Montreal Canadiens as well. Daren Millard along with Ashali Vise. This is nighttime at noon. The lines today. So really interesting practice because almost of who wasn't out there as opposed to who was out there. But can you run through exactly what Pete DeBoer was putting his troops through?
Yep, so the top line you expect of Pacioretty, Stone, Stevenson, Stone, I should say. Interesting, Jonathan Marchessault wasn't out there. Unsure why. So Keegan Colasar was on that second line with William Karlsson and Riley Smith. Third line looked to be Krebs, Patrick, and Dodonov. So that's how that shook out. Defensive pairs, Martinez, Pietrangelo, McNabb, Shea Theodore was on the ice.
First time we've seen him in a while.
First time we've seen him since that first preseason game, whenever he left the game early, and we didn't see him skating with the team through the rest of preseason. So that is something Golden Knights fans should be very, very excited about. Nick Hague and Coughlin together. However, that does mean that Zach Whitecloud also not on the ice. We saw him look like he was in some pain at the end of that game on, gosh, I don't even know what day it is. Was that on Saturday? So who am I missing here that was not on the ice?
So Whitecloud's not out there. Carrier's not out there. Nick Waugh is not out there. Janmark was not out there. So there's, and Jonathan Marchessault was not out there. So a handful of players, veteran players, but that does loop us back around to the Peyton Krebs opportunity. He played 6 of the 7 preseason games.
He did, and, good on Pete DeBoer for letting him get settled, because once he was settled, it certainly paid off in a big way. I think people are excited to see what he's going to do. You saw him play with almost everyone in the lineup, which is something that fans should be excited about. That's a reason to feel comfortable about it, right? Like, whose place does he take? It doesn't matter. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So that's something that'll be interesting to see for sure. What at all did you like from him exactly?
I appreciated that he was not totally comfortable at the start, in the sense that he was trying to do too much and was going beyond, but he settled in. And the middle of camp was probably his best. And then rosters kind of got jumbled around a little bit near the end. But I really liked his progress. And it doesn't always go linear, as we know in professional sports. But that middle of the preseason, where he really found his footing and being jostled around and played more than anybody, I was impressed with his poise and the opportunity that he took advantage of during the preseason. And there's pressure on him to be able to do that. And he came up and produced the big game that everybody was waiting for. To expect multiple points every preseason game is just not fair for anybody during the National Hockey League preseason. And he was able to be able to deliver a big game and then earn the opportunity to go back out there with Pete DeBoer and company.
I like how he handles the pressure too, because I interviewed him second intermission of his stellar game in Colorado, and I asked him, how's it feeling to you? Like, what has you rolling right now? And he said, I'm just trying to show what I can do and do it with a smile. That's what he said. And anytime you talk to him, he is smiling. He is the most genuine, nice young man, and it's good to see someone with a good attitude like that get that success. It's clear that he's just a sponge out there. He wants to learn from all these other guys. He talked to me a little bit about the summer he spent with Max Pacioretty and the different things he learned and, took from him. Yeah, it's good to see him succeed.
I don't do this as well as others, one being Ryan Wallace on the VGK Insider Show. I'm talking about multitasking. So Ryan's really great at it when he's watching Twitter and taking everything in. So as we broadcast today from Studio 31 at nighttime at noon, Daren Millard and Ashali Vise, I'm not ignoring you. I am paying attention to you, but I'm trying to keep up to date with what's going to come down from the Pete DeBoer post-practice press conference, a final opportunity before all the rosters go in, and we get a real heads up as to what the Vegas Golden Knights are going to put forward as far as a roster. Pavel Dorofeev was also on the ice today. He was the only player in the yellow jersey. When there's one player and one player only in a different colored sweater, usually that's like a non-contact jersey or something. No, he was just the only guy from, skating on the fourth line, and everybody else jumped in because of the absence of Carrier and Juan and Janmark and so forth. But Dorofeev, because of all these absences, might be a player that could get an opportunity to make his VGK debut. He's a Russian. When he came over last year, all he did was score. It's when you look at the stats, you go, he should almost have more than that, because every time you see him, he puts the puck in the net. So along with Krebs, Dorofeev could be looking at an opportunity.
Yeah, and it's always cool to see the unexpected opportunities come up, right? That's always fun. It seems like those are the guys who come in and really capitalize. They have a hat trick in game one or something insane like that. So that'll be interesting to see for sure. Definitely interested to see what Pete DeBoer says today, though, before we get ahead of ourselves. And then, of course, see what morning skate looks like tomorrow at 10:30.
I will call it. If Dorofeev plays tomorrow night, he will contribute.
Contribute.
Yeah, I'm going
in
to
some way or another.
I'm
on
going
the point sheet.
Point sheet.
Okay.
He will do that, and when he does, you'll nod up to the press box, and you'll say he was right on.
You heard
it
here first.
You're looking forward to, where's your mind and body at right now after the whirlwind of getting to Vegas and doing the preseason games and now finally being on the eve of opening night?
I'm just excited to get going. Preseason was so much fun for me. Seeing the atmosphere at T-Mobile, not to slap any other organizations, but whenever we went to San Jose, there was a very clear difference of what makes Vegas and T-Mobile so special. Just the energy in the preseason. I cannot wait to see how that will elevate on opening night. I have been at T-Mobile Arena before for home games, however, never a game like this. So I'm so excited to see that. I'm also just excited to cover. Preseason was fun to cover. I was so grateful to be able to get here, to be able to get to know you guys, to be able to get to know some of the players, understand the key players that maybe aren't just the top six that you hear about all the time here. I really enjoyed digging deeper and learning about the team, but preseason is preseason, right? I'm excited to cover this team whenever more is at stake.
We're happy, and you fit in seamlessly, so that's outstanding, and we can't wait to get opening up our schedule on Thursday night on the television side. Tomorrow night, Fox Sports Las Vegas has the broadcast. Dan Duva and Gary Lawless with the call there. Ryan Wallace handling the pregame show. The face-off is just past 7 o'clock, almost closer to 7:30 because of national television. ESPN has the first two games of the season, Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay, banner raising ceremony there, and then Vegas against the Seattle Kraken. News on the Seattle Kraken today with the naming of Mark Giordano as the first ever captain of that organization. So a little different philosophy where Vegas went multiple years without a captain and let the leadership group evolve. Dave Haxtell and company going with Mark Giordano right out of the gate, former captain of the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, certainly deserving. It is a different philosophy. It's not to say it's wrong, but like you said, he's been an NHL captain before. He leads by example. He's one of the best defensemen in the National Hockey League. So if, the shoe fits during preseason, why not do it? He's certainly, I guess you could argue, Philip Grubauer, but the biggest name that ended up with the Seattle Kraken, probably going to be the face of the franchise. So it makes sense. I like it.
First time Seattle's going to play a game ever is tomorrow night, and we went through that. The Las Vegas fans went through that just a few years ago, and now it's old hat in the fact that you're starting year number 5, and the Stanley Cup aspirations are there. Coming off a 3-4 preseason, how do you evaluate what happened during the exhibition schedule?
With Seattle.
With the Vegas Golden Knights. So what they did during the preseason, lost a couple early, then put together a couple of wins, and then finished with the losses.
I think that regardless of the 3-4 record, Vegas saw everything that they needed to see in the preseason. I certainly don't think it is alarming. Robin Leonard looked comfortable in net. That's all you can ask for a goaltender. I think he would like to take a few goals back from that San Jose game. But he also said, I came up with big saves. Really what you want to do is know that you can come up with the big ones because you know that whenever the pressure's on, he's going to step up more than that. He's also probably going to have some better defensive work in front of him whenever the games mean a little bit more, so he can rely on that. Pete DeBoer was able to give young guys not just a look, but give them quality looks, playing with, some of the best guys. You saw Caden Korczak playing with Alec Martinez. What an opportunity for him. The game before that, Peter DeLibertori playing with Alex Pietrangelo. Peyton Krebs played on the Carlson line at times. So guys got really good looks to where the coaching staff really knows how and where they would fit into an NHL game, not just if they can fit into an NHL game. So they got that out of it for sure. There wasn't a game where it truly felt like a full lineup with the line combinations that you would expect, right? Yep. That's another reason that I'm not too concerned about necessarily the results. So I feel like all in all, they got what they needed out of the preseason. What do you think?
I thought that it was a great example of using the preseason for what it's meant to be, and that's looking at the entire organization. And this is such a veteran group. It's such an odd training camp where there were so few jobs available that sometimes motivation, sometimes really gearing into trying to win a game is just not going to be there. In a preseason game, but the ancillary part of it in prospects and players earning a second look. Think of Paul Cotter with his great game, getting another look. Jake Lesishin playing a good game, getting another look. Peyton Krebs throughout the lineup. Danil Miramanov, his progress. So there was little snippets of great organizational exposure, along with just going through and making sure that you're ready. I could do without the absences today, and that's the biggest fear of playing a bunch of preseason games is the injury bug. But there may be some bright spots on the horizon. Pete DeBoer is speaking to the media right now. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll give you the latest on what Pete DeBoer has regarding availabilities for opening night of the VGK season number 5 as we continue. Nighttime at noon on Fox Sports Las Vegas, and we want to tell you all about your opportunity to be the first to join the Vegas Nighthawks family. Secure your seat selection priority today by placing a refundable $20 deposit at nighthawksfootball.com. Full season membership will start at just $10 per ticket per game at the brand new Dollar Loan Center located in Henderson. So a lot happening on the Foley Entertainment Group front with the Vegas Nighthawks, and of course opening night tomorrow for the Vegas Golden Knights, and later this week the Henderson Silver Knights launch its second season. Pete DeBoer's comments regarding his roster, you don't want to miss the update on that as we continue. Nighttime at noon, live on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Daren Millard, Ashali Vise at Studio 31 with Nighttime at Noon on a very anticipated program, a very anticipated and much followed practice today for the Vegas Golden Knights inside City National Arena. Looking forward to this one, and there is some news out there regarding some absences, but also Mark Stone was on the ice today, Shea Theodore's on the ice today. Those are great returns, but as far as the absences, Carrier, Waugh, Howden, Zach Whitecloud, Jonathan Marchessault, Pete DeBoer has just met with the media, Ashley, and he had some updates.
He did. So I'll start with the fourth line guys who are not out there. William Carrier is in concussion protocol. You never know how long that will last. Going to call that day to day for now, as far as I know. Nicholas Waugh will be out though. So he has been out. Looks like he will continue to be out. Don't have a timeline on that, but he is out, as is Brett Howden, which is unfortunate for him because this was going to be a great change of scenery for a young guy to see what he can do. So hopefully he's able to get back. He only got a couple of preseason games in. Zach Whitecloud is expected to be ready to go for tomorrow. So that's great news, as well as Jonathan Marchessault. He is fine, is what we have been told. So that is a big weight off the shoulder. So, some good, some not great, but that's where we're sitting right now.
So Carrier, correct me if I'm wrong, he was injured in the Salt Lake City game.
I believe it was Colorado.
Colorado game?
The skate
Okay.
to the face.
See, that,
I don't
that's
wanna,
why I said correct me if I'm wrong.
I hope I'm right. They're all blending together.
And Nick Waugh was the Salt Lake City game.
Yes, I believe that was a Salt Lake City game.
And so
Correct.
he left late in the game on that one. But yeah, Carrier took the skate to the face. Thankfully, it didn't affect the vision at all. But as far as Marchessault being out today, not on the ice, it was Keegan Colasar who skated with William Karlsson and Riley Smith. Colasar played all over the lineup in the preseason, too. We mentioned that about Peyton Krebs getting a look with almost every player in camp, but Colasar was virtually on every line at some point.
He was, and I think that's maybe something that we're going to see whenever the season starts, that he's not just a fourth-line guy. We saw a fight from him.
Yeah.
Just because he moves up the roster doesn't mean he's not going to drop the gloves if it's the right time to do so. But, yeah, I think we're going to see him play all over, and an incredible camp for him. The coaches said he looked confident, he looked comfortable. Steve Spott said he looked faster. I don't know if Pete DeBoer thought he looked faster or not, but Steve Spott did say he looked faster. He also talked about how he's just more comfortable shooting, so hopefully we do see more production from him as well.
And Shea Theodore on the back end, we haven't seen him since the first preseason game. Mark Stone didn't play in the last preseason game, so that's good that he was out there today taking the normal reps. So the veteran presence on that regard, some question marks coming into practice. Some of this was just fallout from what happened over the course of the weekend. But we were wondering whether Stone would be out there today. He was. We hadn't seen Shea Theodore for a few days. That's incredibly encouraging to go out there. So positive on that. And without Whitecloud out there, Nick Hague had a different defensive partner today.
Coughlin. And that's someone that is going to come in and out of the lineup, right? I mean, he would like to be the sixth defenseman. Whenever I say he's going to come in and out, who knows? Maybe not. Maybe he's in. You never know. But he had a strong camp as well, and this was a big camp for him to prove himself. But from this point forward, kind of every time he's going to be in the lineup is going to be a big opportunity for him, right? Pete DeBoer said on a lot of teams he would be a regular, and that just goes to speak to this team's defensive depth.
See how much more we can get regarding opening night when Nick Hague, who is scheduled to join us in a couple of minutes, stops by the program and Studio 31. And that's one of the great advantages of being here in the building at City National Arena and Studio 31 is we can have the players just pop on with us and discuss opening night. And I can't wait to get his reactions to, after everything that he's been through, to be not only a prospect and the potential to play on opening night, but to be a big part of this lineup and now playing on opening night.
Yeah, the whole dynamic changes once you have a season under your belt as a regular NHLer, right? Your camp changes because you come in confident. You're able to perform better in camp because you're comfortable. Was it Keegan Colasar that made the quote that you and I talked about? He said, I'm not as worried about not messing up. You can kind of relax a little bit. But the whole game kind of changes. Zach Whitecloud's kind of the same way. The two of them kind of came in and made that big leap together. So it'll be exciting to watch them as a pair if Zach Whitecloud is in tomorrow like he's supposed to be.
Flipping a switch is something that we talk about in professional sports and being able to do that. And that comes with the good teams. that are trying to get through the lead up to a season or a playoff, and then when something's on the line, you go. I think this team falls under that umbrella right now of being able to just, having got their reps in during the preseason, be able to flip the switch and be that dominant team that we expect.
Yeah, I think if this was a team that had dropped the ball many times previously, then I would understand where people are coming from of, oh, I don't know if they can do it, but you're talking about a team that's made it to the third round 3 of the first 4 years of their existence. Now, I know that that's not enough for them or for the fans. They want to win a cup, right? But you can't say too much about how they are as pros, and you can't say too much about the leadership or the veteran presence whenever you've had that success so early on. I know last season didn't end the way that they wanted it to, but you make it to the conference final or round 3 or whatever it is they were calling it in that weird COVID divisional situation. But I don't see it being a problem until they show us that it's a problem. And so far, this team from its inaugural season has not done that.
I find it difficult to put any real stock in the results of this team's preseason. There's some around the league where you're fighting for jobs and you're fighting for your place in the lineup and respectability and the opportunity to be able to push the envelope. LA Kings are a great example of that. A lot of youth into that lineup and trying to rise up through the roster, and you want to be able to perform at the top level every night. This was truly just getting some reps in, and with all like credibility towards the preseason and going through that journey, the real stuff does start tomorrow night.
It does. Something else, you kind of touched on it with the results and with a team like LA where they have a lot to be playing for right now, right? So does San Jose, so does Arizona. There's 6 of the 7 games or 5 of the 7 games that the Golden Knights played. So it makes sense that those teams were a little bit more hungry, if you should say, where the Golden Knights did look a little bit like they were just trying to get their legs under them. But it does start tonight. I also think tomorrow is going to be huge simply from the fact that everyone wants to compare the Seattle Kraken to the Vegas Golden Knights. Will they do that? I think it would mean a lot whether the players say it. I know the players are going to say it's just another game. That's what they have to say. That's honestly what they have to think and convince themselves going into it. But there's only one Vegas Golden Knights, right? You don't want...
Right, and I actually can't wait. You brought up the cliche. I can't wait to hear the cliche game 1 of 82.
Yep.
That we get to play 82 games. So that normally it's like 1 out of 82. We're hearing that again. But that on its own is great. Seattle's not going to do what Vegas did. Not a trip to the Stanley Cup final. That's a once in a lifetime type of performance. But I'm not even of the belief that this is a team that's going to make the postseason. It's hard to make the Stanley Cup playoffs, and no expansion team's ever done it outside of '67 when they doubled the league and played an all-expansion division.
St. Louis Blues, I believe.
And St. Louis Blues went to the Stanley Cup final the first 3 years, but that was one-up. Their teams were going to make the playoffs because they were in an expansion division, and then the Vegas Golden Knights 4 years ago. So it's to just automatically, and it's about even money, whether Seattle is going to make the playoffs or not. That's high to me, even money.
Yeah, it is. It's like you said, it's harder to make the playoffs than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
After seeing what the Golden Knights did in year 1. One thing that they have going for them a little bit is what is LA going to do? What is San Jose going to do? What is Arizona going to do? When you look at the other teams who also might struggle to make the playoffs, I think that's the only thing that might give Seattle a little bit of an edge, but it's difficult. And then once you get in the playoffs, it's a new ball game, right? So I don't know. We'll see. They have some weapons. Don't get me wrong. They have some weapons. They have a strong goaltender.
Do you think they're a playoff team?
My gut says no.
Yeah.
My gut says no.
I'm not quite sure of that, and I'm in the minority here, and it's not just trying to be a contrarian. I just think history's taught us a lot about the abilities of expansion teams to make the playoffs, and just because one does it doesn't mean it's going to follow through. I'll take the 12 other franchises that have come in after the league doubled and take their track record compared to
Here's another thing I've thought about that as well. I think some people think that these Seattle Kraken players are going to come in with that same misfit mentality of, nobody wanted me. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, because whenever Vegas had their expansion draft, there hadn't been an expansion draft in how long? Upwards of 15 years, I want to say. This is not new to these Seattle players. They witnessed people in an expansion draft a couple years ago. I don't feel like it was quite as much of a punch in the gut if you were selected in the expansion draft in your current team.
They saw the opportunity, right?
Exactly. So I think that's something else. I don't necessarily expect these Kraken players to have that same chip on their shoulder that the Vegas Golden Knights did in year one.
Big night for the Foley Entertainment Group, the Vegas Golden Knights. A big week with the Henderson Silver Knights also launching their first season opener with people in the building over at the Orleans. So it's huge. And Bill and Carol Foley created the Foley Food and Wine Society to celebrate three of their greatest passions: world-class wines, exceptional cuisine, and outstanding travel destinations. As a member of the society, you will have access to an entire portfolio of properties around the globe. That's worldwide, in case you're wondering. The Foley Food and Wine Society offers an exclusive opportunity to join like-minded individuals who seek to experience the finer things in life. Join for free today by visiting FoleyFoodAndWineSociety.com. Looking to catch up with Nick Hague, talk about opening night tomorrow against the Seattle Kraken as we continue live from Studio 31, City National Arena on Fox Sports Las Vegas. How about this one? Check it out. The spectacular Hotel Californian in Santa Barbara, California, is the newest exciting addition to the Foley Entertainment Group. Experience an extraordinary stay in one of 122 luxury guest rooms and suites Taste the region's finest wines at Foley Food and Wine Society's tasting room and treat yourself to unparalleled massages at Mejural, the Moroccan-inspired spa, all in the heart of the American Riviera. Designed for domestic and international guests alike, Hotel Californian is the perfect destination for any traveler seeking a one-of-a-kind luxury experience. Hotel California. In Santa Barbara's premier urban destination, visit hotelcalifornian.com to book your stay today. Hotelcalifornian.com. And
Sounds
what
nice.
an awesome opportunity if you want to really treat yourself. Check that out. The Vegas Golden Knights hoping to treat everybody tomorrow night in Game 1 of this 2021-2022 National Hockey League season. This is nighttime at noon. We'll be here every Monday at noon to bring you the very latest on the Vegas Golden Knights. And then, of course, the VGK Insider Show runs 4 to 6 with Ryan Wallace and Chris Chapman. Some news coming out, and Nick Hague is going to stop by in just a little bit, talk about what he's expecting tomorrow night, the experience of the season facing the Seattle Kraken. There's a lot to get to with Nick Hague. We hear that his defensive partner, Zach Whitecloud, is going to be okay to play, so we'll find out whether he was nervous at all about that, because Whitecloud didn't practice today. But some league news to talk about here. And Ashley, one of the big stories is just availability. And not just the Vegas Golden Knights. So we ran through Jonathan Marchessault wasn't out there today. Jan Marks in COVID protocol. Nick Waugh and Will Carey are not expected to play. Sidney Crosby's not going to play on opening night. That's just reality for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jake Gensel's also out.
Yeah, you missed your top two guys. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
Malkin's
out.
VGK fans think that they're in the a bad spot. You're not. There's, that's the good thing about this team. It's so deep, right? That there's a lot less concern if someone goes out. Like you mentioned earlier, thank goodness Mark Stone, the VGK captain, will be here, unlike the captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins. But you mentioned Austin Matthews as well?
He's not going to play for the first 3 games. He had the procedure done on the wrist, so he's not going to be available for the first 3 games. They were really hoping that he would be able to slide in there, but when you're missing the first 3, it wasn't even really close in the end.
Yeah, talk about a team with some pressure.
Yes. Well, and Kyle Dubas has put some of that on himself, and I think it's a strategy here to try and take away from Sheldon Keefe and company, but he's really laid it on about his job and his potential to be on the hot seat this year. So I think it's an interesting strategy there. Like John Cooper went through this with the Tampa Bay Lightning. They reached the Stanley Cup final, then didn't make the playoffs, and they stuck with it. And if there's ever a lesson to be learned about that, and it doesn't always work that way. Some teams have made changes and really responded to that. But John Cooper gets a 3-year contract extension. He's already the longest-serving coach. He's got back-to-back Stanley Cups going for the first three-peat inside a salary cap era. He's Team Canada's Olympic coach. He's become like the it thing in the National Hockey League when it's going to be a head coach. Pete DeBoer is going to work with him at the Olympics.
Yeah, surprise, surprise that he gets extended, right? A couple back-to-back cups will do that. It has been incredible to see what he's done with the organization, though. And like you said, it's a testament to what happens if you stay patient and if management sticks with it. Lets a coach get a group, lets a coach figure it out, lets a coach build the system that he wants to build in that way.
Chatted with Rick Tocchet, who's going to be part of the Turner broadcast on Wednesday. Chatted with him on the Chirp podcast today that'll be released later on this week. He said maybe, and I'll paraphrase here with Rick, who's probably listening because he lives in Las Vegas. He was at the big fight the other night. Rick said one of the biggest challenges for Tampa Bay will be just like you chase that carrot. You chase that carrot. That's the ultimate motivation, and coach gives you ice time or doesn't, but it's all about selling everybody on the opportunity to win. Well, they've won back-to-back. Now, how do you continue that fire and continue to stoke those embers?
Has a team ever won 3 in a row since
Not since the
expansion?
Islanders.
Okay.
New York Islanders were the last team to do it in the early 80s.
Early 80s
Yes.
is the last time. So, really what you chase, I know Pittsburgh was after it just a few years ago. What you chase is just wanting to be the person that does a three-peat,
to finally do it.
So that's where the hunger comes in. That's where I think the inspiration comes. However, that might not kick in. The hunger for that might not kick in until the postseason starts. You have to get there first. So it's going to be interesting to see is where their hunger is at the beginning of the season. Like you said, game 1 of 82, because you can say, oh, it's only game 1, oh, it's only game 2, oh, it's only game 3, but you can't have too big of a lull to start a season because it bites you.
I'm telling you, you warm my heart when you say that, game 1 of 82. There's a handful of teams. I put Vegas in the mix with an Edmonton, with a Toronto, with a Tampa Bay, where you are going to be judged on your postseason performance. Where the regular season comes into play is establishing your game, your dominance, your division title, what have you, top seed, and setting the table, intimidation, all that kind of stuff. And if you have a great regular season, there's an intimidation factor there. But do you agree with that? That there's this handful of teams that you first have to earn your playoff spot. But boy, whether you finish first or fourth, you're judged on postseason. Toronto hasn't won a round in a long time. Connor McDavid has to have success. Vegas has reached the third round the last couple of years, but they want to take another step. Tampa's trying to win 3 straight.
Absolutely. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are starting to get up there where people are kind of tired of seeing how good they are in the regular season and then not making it past, round 2 maybe, or however, I honestly can't remember off the top of my head how far they've made it the last 2 years, but they've been really good in the regular season. There's been a lot of hype about them. The bunch of jerks from a couple years ago, how all that came about in that attitude, but then they aren't quite getting it done. I think that the Colorado Avalanche also, their window, they
can't get past the second round.
Yeah. So, and all eyes are on Nathan McKinnon. Can he get the team there? So that's going to be interesting. They're right in that window, and if they don't do it here in the next couple years, then where does that opportunity come? So
Vegas is trying to get back to the Stanley Cup final, trying to make it 2 Stanley Cup final appearances in the first 5 years of the franchise, and then if they do that, that means getting to the Final Four in 4 of the 5 years. So what an accomplishment that would be. And when we continue, we will explore that opportunity with Nick Hague, who is going to stop by the program. It's the Nighttime at Noon program every Monday at noon on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Stay with us. For exclusive Vegas Golden Knights gear, visit one of the Vegas Golden Knights official team store locations, the Armory located at T-Mobile Arena, the Arsenal location here at City National Arena, or on our website, vegasteamstore.com, social media, VGK Gear, at VGK Gear. It's nighttime at noon, simulcast on YouTube, as well as Fox Sports Las Vegas. Daren Millard along with Ashali Vise here in Studio 31, and that's the great advantage of being here is players can come right up here after practice, like Nick Hague joins us on the day before opening night. What's running through your mind and body right now as you look ahead to tomorrow night?
Lots of excitement.
Yeah,
we're all itching to get going. Excited to get back on the ice and play and start it up. So I think I can speak for everyone. We're pretty anxious to get going, and tomorrow can't come soon enough.
What was camp like for you going through the preseason for the first time as a veteran NHLer?
Yeah, it was different. We lots of games is definitely a lot different than last year, right? Last year we didn't do anything like that, so it was a little bit long. We just all want to get going and play in the games, but it's nice to get out there and play and shake off some of the rust that you might pick up over the summer and kind of get back into the swing of things.
What do you feel like you got out of the preseason, the games that you did play, the biggest benefits for you?
I think it's just lots of puck touches and trying to play in a bunch of different situations. So it's a time to improve, a time to kind of dial in your game for the season, and that was kind of my mindset going in. It's just making sure I'm doing everything I can to be ready to go when the regular season starts.
Nick Hague is with us in Studio 31 at City National Arena. The Vegas Golden Knights against the Seattle Kraken tomorrow night on Fox Sports Las Vegas. The back half of a doubleheader on opening night with ESPN taking opening night. So that's kind of cool, too. You play the Seattle Kraken.
Yep.
Honestly, what do you know? How much video have you watched? Because, this is totally different.
Yeah, it's definitely different, right? I don't know much. I kind of see their scores throughout their preseason and whatnot, but other than that, not a whole lot. I'm sure we'll run over some video in the next 24 hours or so, and I think I know one player on their team. We're from the same hometown.
Who's that?
That's Nate Bastian.
Okay.
And that's about all I know about them.
Mark Giordano was named captain today. First captain for them.
Sweet.
How different is your game, Nick, compared to a couple of years ago when you came up from Chicago?
I think it's definitely different. I think for me, it's trying to be a better pro every day and adapt to the schedule and all the little things that it takes to play at this level. And that's kind of my mindset every time I come to the rink, is making sure all the little details are dialed in. And
what are those little details? I hear that a lot. But
yeah, it's it's hard to little passes on the breakout, okay. Stick position, body position, stuff that maybe doesn't get noticed necessarily watching as a fan, but it's definitely stuff that we focus on a lot as players, and those little things they make a huge difference when we're out there on the ice.
Throughout camp, with a lot of the younger defensive prospects getting some looks, we heard a lot about how the veteran members of this D-Corps really step up and communicate with young guys. Do you have any good stories about how Petro or Alec Martinez or Shea Theodore kind of helped you in your journey?
Yeah, I don't have any specific stories, but I can't say enough about how much the older guys on this team have helped me and have kind of helped shape me into more of the player I am today. These are all guys that I watch growing up. I watched Petro win a gold medal at the Olympics. These guys that I always watch, and now they're friends and teammates, and they're great about little pointers here and there. Just kind of keeping it fun and relaxed. It can sometimes it's maybe a little bit overwhelming. You want to go out and perform and do all that, and they do a great job at make sure we're still having fun, and just it's a game, right? We're all here having fun, and they do a great job keeping the mood light and just go out there and have fun, and they're great for that.
You talk about playing relaxed. What is it like to stay relaxed? You look at how deep this D-Corps is. You look at all the competition. What is it like to play on a team where there is so much competition? You have these young guys coming up and showing up in the preseason. You, of course, have those veteran guys that hopefully aren't going anywhere. What is that like for you?
You know what? It's that's what you want. It's adds some good competition. We're always pushing each other, always trying to help each other to be better. And I think at the end of the day, that's exactly what you want. From your teammates and from your team, right? We're we all push each other every day, and at the end of the day, it's just going to help us, perform better on the ice.
Who was your favorite defenseman when you were growing up?
You know what? I watched a ton of guys. I don't think I really had one guy in particular. A guy like Petro, Victor Hedman was a guy I loved to watch all the time. I tend to watch like the bigger guys a little bit. Me being so big.
Were you always tall, or did you go through the growth spurt?
No, I didn't really have one big growth spurt. I was kind of just gradually kept growing. Yeah, it's 1 or 2 inches every year. It seemed like for a long time, and it wasn't like a lot at once. Just kind of over the years, just kind of kept going.
Nick Hague's with us on Nighttime at Noon, Fox Sports Las Vegas from Studio 31. Daren Millard and Ashali Vise.
We've talked about the injuries a little bit, Daren and I have, as the show has gone on. I'm curious from a player's perspective. You want to get your legs under you in the preseason. You want to get up to game speed, but you want to avoid injury. How can you really get up to game speed? How can you really get ready if you aren't willing to jump in front of pucks, if you aren't willing to put yourself in danger?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think you don't think about it, right? When you go out and play, I think we all kind of have the mindset when you're out there competing and playing a game. It doesn't matter if it's preseason or regular season or playoffs or whatever. You're out there competing to win, and that competitiveness, I think, kind of takes over. So you're not thinking about trying not to get hurt. You just hope that you can avoid injuries and try to take all the necessary precautions with the training staff to make sure your body's healthy and feeling good. And it's an unfortunate part about what we do is injuries are going to happen. So you just got to find a way to get through them and come out the other side stronger.
Pete said today that Zach should be okay. White Cloud should be in the lineup tomorrow night. So that's obviously going with you and that partnership.
Yeah, I talked to Whitey this morning as well. Just asked him how he was doing. He said he feels fine. So that's definitely good news. And that's one of those things, right? He blocks a shot, and which is such a big part of his game. And it's you hope he's okay, but you don't go out there, especially him. He's not going to go out and try to not do that, right? Because he's trying to get ready, and that's a big part of the game. So you just hope you can not get hurt too badly, I guess.
Hey, do you have a number in mind what you want to put up offensively?
No.
I say this in all seriousness. It looks like you're more comfortable right now, and you're more involved in the play offensively, and taking those not risks but opportunities when they come to you.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of what we talk about as a D-corps in general. We always want to be up in the play, and a part of the forecheck, and making sure that we're contributing offensively, because it's it's not just the forwards that have to play offensively. It's 5-on-5 out there, so we try to get involved as much as we can, and so it's definitely something that I think as a group we always try to do. And I think you're right, as you get a little bit more experience, maybe it might come a little bit easier, but at the same time, we got to worry about our own end first. But I find a lot of the time if you break out quickly and take care of your own end, the other side of it comes a lot easier.
So I might just be imagining it, but it looks good anyway.
Yeah, thank you.
Looks good. Thanks for doing this. I know you got to get down, get prepared, and do some other stuff, but appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you,
and,
guys.
And good luck tomorrow night. Enjoy that. That's going to be a cool thing with Seattle.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Appreciate it. There's Nick Hague, who joins us now. You can just throw that on the headset and do your thing and go off and do what professional hockey players do the day before a National Hockey League season starts. I appreciate this stuff. Yes, pasta.
A nap. Bread.
Chicken or pasta? Both. That's
nice.
great.
I like that.
That's fun. It's fun to hang out. Studio 31, right upstairs at City National Arena, where we get to pick the brains of Nick Hague, who's going to go out there and be in a totally different spot than he was a couple of years ago when this happened.
It's exciting. We ran out of time, but I wanted to ask him after you asked him if he has numbers in mind. Like, how do you think they go about setting those goals? How do you go about, it's a team sport. They're all hockey is unlike any other sport in the fact that these guys don't think about themselves. They don't just say that. It seems like they really don't. They put the team above everything. But how do you go about setting goals?
I think he's double digits for goals this year. I do, and that's a big jump for everybody. Anybody scoring double digits on the back end, that's a really accomplished season. But from what I've witnessed from him, and the different looks that he's going to get, and with his shot, and just being able, I'm not talking a big Hagerbomb, the clapper,
Hagerbomb,
but the wrist shot, his instincts appear to be right on board. I'll be surprised if he doesn't hit double digits from what I see now.
And you think about him going double digits.
Mm-hmm.
You can hope Petrangelo's going to hit
Right.
double digits. You can hope Theodore's going to hit double digits. Like you talked about it being a big
Martinez
deal for
in the power play.
Martinez. Yeah, you talk about one guy on the back end being a big deal for them to hit double digits. What are you looking at, 4 to 5 possibly for this VGK team?
It could happen. And if they get there, Ashley, if Martinez is in that range, if Petrangelo is in that range, that tells you that the power play is clicking, because you feed the point and you get those chances. If they reach those, that's probably where a lot of those numbers, Dadanov is helpful in that regard, Patrick and so forth. But if those numbers from the back end are there, that's a great indication that the power play is better.
And that's what you need.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
what this team needs. It's really, I mean, would you call it the only point of contention from last season? Really? If there was one thing you had to point to and say this team would have been better if, or maybe they could have done it if, the power play would be it, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was terrible, but it missed opportunities. I think the timing of the power play can be much better than an overall. Like I would take 17th to 15th if the timing was better and gave you those key goals at crucial opportunities. But it's been funny. I did some digging on the power play, and it was good, down, good, down. The first 4 years just alternated. So this just going on that, I'm saying it's going to be a good year.
They're due for a good year.
It's going to be a good. That's scientific research.
Yes,
right
that's
there.
it works.
Ashali Vise. We're looking forward to this season. Henderson Silver Knights going to open up on Friday.
Yes.
Want to let everybody know on that front at Orleans Arena. Patrick Brown was picked up off waivers today. That's the news in case you missed that. Carrier and Waugh will not play tomorrow night. Howden, I think, is
Howden
out.
also out.
Well, but Zach Whitecloud didn't practice today. He is going to be, fingers crossed, available tomorrow night. And Jonathan Marchessault also wasn't out today, but should be able to go tomorrow night. And 2 absences. Shea Theodore, haven't seen him in a while, and Mark Stone didn't play on the weekend. They were both practicing today.
Yes, major news to have those 2 back for sure. Also a huge weight off the shoulders to hear that Whitecloud and Marchessault are good as well, although we will see Dylan Coughlin at some point. Mm-hmm. So if Whitecloud is in tomorrow like he's supposed to be, great. We will probably see Dylan Coughlin again at some point this season, though, which will be exciting.
You ready to start this marathon?
I am ready to go. Game 1 of 82. Darren.
Game 1 of 80. Yeah, thank you. We have a pregame show on the TV side, but don't forget 4 to 6, the VGK Insider Show today. A special guest from the VGK side coming up on that one, and then 4 to 6 tomorrow from T-Mobile Arena. On the flight deck, and then Ryan Wallace has the pregame show 6 to after 7 o'clock. If you're going to the game tomorrow night, get there early because opening night there's always all kinds of festivities, and we will be there and be able to hang out with you guys and be able to enjoy opening night. It's so much fun. We can't wait. Thanks to Nick Hague for stopping by. Thanks to you, Ashali Vise, as well. You're going to do this every Monday? Sounds
I hope
like
so.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Is
Nighttime
that an invite?
That's an invite. I don't make the schedule, but I think you're great at it. Let's do that. And, of course, Dakota Miller for making sure that we are on the air and getting through things. Enjoy the night before Christmas, hockey edition, as the VGK get ready to face the Seattle Kraken.